Well, it is the end of another day, and I am out here in the garage enjoying a cigar. Thank you so much for joining me. Today I was asked a little bit about cigars and was asked to share a little bit about it on my video tonight. So I'm not going to share with you everything. I think I might try and add some information in future videos. If you like the discussion about the cigars, definitely let me know. But one of the things that I get asked a lot is, why do you like cigars? And it's a very, very complex response. There's a lot of things that really stand out to me. I know anyone who appreciates cigars would say the same thing. The first part that really stands out to me is just the dedication to time. You know, we live in a day where everybody is going. And in order to really enjoy a cigar the way that it is intended to be enjoyed, requires you to stop and requires you to just sit and reflect. Sometimes it will be by yourself. Sometimes it will be in good company. But ultimately, it's going to take you a while. One cigar, a Robusto, which is going to be 5 inches long, is going to take about 30 to 45 minutes. If you go slow, you can stretch that out to an hour. I know some people who can do a 6-inch cigar and go for an hour and a half. I am not quite at that speed. I enjoy the flavor too much, and I can be known to go through them a little bit quicker. But so the dedication of time is the first piece that stands out. Second is just the craftsmanship that goes into the cigars. They say that on average, you've got about 200 to 300 pairs of hands that are involved in getting you the cigar that you have in your hand. So from seed to smoke is about 200 to 300 hands if it's a hand-rolled cigar. So that's a lot of people contributing to this craft, this art, and by taking that time, that 45 minutes, you are showing the respect to the people who actually made that for you. You know, it's interesting to me that people will often just assume that a cigar is a big cigarette, and that is as far from the truth as you could possibly get. A cigarette is a mashed up, chemical-induced version of what the cigar was, and an attempt to get you quicker nicotine, get it into your lungs in a way that you are not naturally supposed to. So with a cigar, you actually don't inhale. And the reason for that is because the tobacco smoke will cause your body to cough. Anybody who has accidentally tried to inhale a cigar can attest to just how sick it makes you feel, how much your body rejects it. And that's by design. I would say God's design, because you're not supposed to inhale that. Well, cigarettes, they put lots of chemicals in there to allow it to go into your lungs, which is why there's such a problem with cigarette smoke and what it does to your lungs, because it's not supposed to go down there. Well, the cigar is crafted with just tobacco leaves. That's it. In one cigar, you're going to have about 3 to 5 leaves. Sometimes they will do half of a leaf from one area of the world, say Nicaragua. Another half may come from Honduras. But all of those are combined to equate to about 3 to 5 leaves. And there are 3 main parts to a cigar in regards to the leaves and what role they play. So you have the filler, you have the binder, and then you have the wrapper. The wrapper is the piece that you see on the outside. That's what makes it pretty. That's the flawless leaf is what they want for that. And that's just one leaf. And it wraps everything up. It's really, really important that not only is it aesthetically pleasing, but it's going to contribute to the flavor of the cigar significantly. So they want to make sure they have the best leaves for that. Second to that would be the binder. That one can have some holes, but it's really intentional and plays such a pivotal part in how the cigar smokes itself. So if the binder is wrapped too tight, then you won't be able to get enough of a draw on the cigar, and so you won't get a good smoke. If you have too loose, then the flavors, the leaves inside may not burn evenly. And so the wrapper is a really, really important part. And then the innermost part is the filler. And that is, it can be a straight single leaf, a whole leaf. More often than not, it is broken up, just ripped apart. And as I said, they'll combine different leaves so that you'll get different flavors. And they don't have to be really pretty because they're going on the inside and they're just contributing to the flavor. So that is my little tidbit for cigars for this evening. I hope that you enjoyed that. I did want to share with you a quick story about that ties into a scripture that I also want to share as well. It has to do with your reputation and who you are and who people see you as. My dad used to do a message where he would talk about who do people say that you are. He would challenge people to go out to people in your life, maybe it be somebody at work or friends, and just ask what your reputation is. Give them that freedom to say whatever it really is, and without any backlash, without you arguing, attacking, defending, any of that, but just really to help you see people the way you see the way they see you. And the reason for that is not so much for an ego trip or to beat yourself up, but to really cause you to stop and reflect on, is this who I want to be known as? Is this the reputation that I want? And if not, then you can ask those follow-up questions of, well, why do people say that? Is that's not at all what I would want. I had an example where I did that at work one time. My dad had just challenged us earlier that morning, and I went to work, and I, for whatever reason, had the boldness to ask my boss. It was just he and I working, and I said, what's my reputation at the branch? I was working in bank at the time, and he was newer to banking. He was not, he didn't have a banking background, and so I would often try and help him out. And I said, what is my reputation here in the branch? And he said, well, you can come across as a know-it-all. Well, that floored me because I can't stand know-it-alls. I know that nobody knows it all, and I am one of the first to attest that I don't know everything, but I know that I can often come across that way based on that conversation and just my desire to help people. And so I had that opportunity to step back and say, am I offering help when it's not asked for? And is this really how I want to be viewed? Because if my goal is to help somebody, but I am just completely rubbing them the wrong way and they don't listen to me at all, then I don't get to help. So I used it as an opportunity to try and change my approach. And I would challenge you to do the same in regards to just having that conversation with somebody around you, somebody you trust. I wouldn't do it with just some coworker that you just started with or you don't have a relationship with, but somebody who's been with you for a while, somebody is a friend or an ally, is in your corner, and just have that boldness to say, what is my reputation? And see how that conversation goes. So let me read to you real quick. In Matthew 16, Jesus is actually the one who originally asked this question, and it's what started me down that path of really evaluating who I am. So when Jesus came into the region of Caesarea Philippi, he asked his disciples, saying, who do men say that I am? So they said, some say John the Baptist, some say Elijah, and others Jeremiah, or one of the prophets. And then he said to them, but who do you say that I am? Simon Peter answered and said, you are the Christ, the Son of the living God. Jesus answered and said to him, blessed are you, Simon, for flesh and blood has not revealed this to you, but my Father who is in heaven. And I also say to you that you are Peter, and on this rock I will build my church, and the gates of hell shall not prevail against it. And I will give you the keys of the kingdom of heaven, and whatever you bind on earth will be bound in heaven, and whatever you loose on earth will be loosed in heaven. Then he commanded his disciples that they should tell no one that he was Jesus the Christ. Well, thank you so much for joining me. If you are not subscribed to the channel yet, please do so. I really would appreciate it. Also, if you like the content, give me a thumbs up, share it on social media. And if you've got anything that stands out, if you want to share a story or questions that you have, please add those in the comments. And as always, if you are in the Lebanon area and would like to join me, I would love to have a moment to sit down with you and chat to share a cigar and change the world.